Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are looking at the Tri. This is the i3 model from them. Unique model, 3 drivers per side. We did the i4 many months ago. That was a more budget-oriented IM with a balanced armature and a dynamic. This one builds upon that, adding a planar magnetic on each side. Um, Connection is an Mmcx connector. Not my favorite connector, honestly. It has its merits, pop it on and off. The direction can be twisted. Still, I like 2-pin for some reason. It's just my favorite connection, whether it be QDC or regular 2-pin. I like that. It's just my preference. Uh, MMCX connection. Cord length says 120 centimeters. Uh, Sensitivity is 103 decibels. Uh, it's an aluminum alloy polished mirror silver. To me, I consider that chromed. It's chrome. It's beautiful chrome plated all the way through. Uh, it has a 3.5 millimeter jack. You can see that right there, obviously. Frequency is 20 to 40 kilohertz. And impedance is remarkably 15 ohms, which is weird because it's a planar magnetic. It consists of a 10 millimeter planar magnetic, a composite dynamic driver, which is 8 millimeters, and a balanced armature, which I don't actually know who makes it or what number it is, um, but it's a good balanced armature. Sound-wise, we'll get into that in just a minute. Let's get into the build. Build quality is excellent with these. There are a solid built IAM that comes with different accessories. Let's show you that. It comes with this pouch that you got with the i4, the velvety pouch with a snap, adequate protection for scratches. Obviously, it's not, a hard case, but I would have liked to have seen a hard case, but I can understand to keep costs down the pouch, and plus they already make those. Natural rubber, kind of like the Shower Singer tips. You also get the typical KB TRN style tips. And you also get these foam, kind of look like the Tin T3 foam. I don't remember if those had black in the middle of them for the tube, but it reminds me of them regardless. And you get the beautiful copper cable. Now, the copper cable, obviously, looking at it, you would think that this copper cable is the one from the P1 or a copy, but it is not. It looks probably exactly like that. I don't know where the thing is there right there. You have this nice plastic thing, just like their cable, only this cable feels a little bit more robust. It definitely has a much more rubber coating on it. Feels just a little bit thicker to me. Uh, Beautiful shape. It's an ergonomic shape, and even though these are on the larger size, they're quite comfortable. I've worn these at spurts of 3 hours at a time. There was no fatigue or pain for me, at least, and I probably have about a medium size ear. There's a nice filter right there. What a beautiful IM. I'm impressed with the looks, and I love this copper cable too. Put those off to the side now. So I like the cable. I like the way they look aesthetically. They're very pleasing to the eye. They're pretty. Um, how do they sound though? So things can be built quite well. They can look quite good, but if they sound horrible, what good is it? Sound-wise, we'll start with the bass. We'll start low with the bass. The bass, it is aggressive. There is very good power there and definition. A little bit of a bloom there, but it has a rapid decay, so it doesn't bleed into the other frequencies like you would get sometimes on a V shape. And we'll get into the mids, but mid bass is very refined. There's some really good speed there. It's got a good punch to it. There's a good kick to that mid bass. Uh, It makes these really good for like pop, hip hop, rock music, metal. Uh, Very good for these. Any music that takes advantage of the bass and needs either a fast or a nice deep bass, these are going to sound excellent with it. Let's get into the mids. Now, although the bass is dominant here, it doesn't bleed into the mids. The mids are actually pushed forward, not unnaturally, actually kind of in a really nice space just in front of the bass. There is some excellent detail retrieval in the mids due to that planar magnetic driver. If you amp them a little bit more, you get even more out of that. They do benefit from power, but they don't necessarily need power. Um, Honestly, lower power inputs, the mids kind of sounded more balanced and neutral. And then as I amp them with things like the Soundavo and my SP 200, I found nice warmth. There was good timbre there. Very, very, very rich with details and emotion. Vocals were very pleasing, very good detail and pleasing with the vocals. Um, treble, treble is detailed again. There's really good detail retrieval, like on these, very good detail retrieval, um, all the way up. And the treble isn't harsh. It does have some shimmer, sparkle, whatever you want to call it, on the top. It definitely has a good extension up there. It's not going to impress treble heads. It's not an overly bright pair of earphones, but it's not an overly dark pair of earphones either. For me, I think it's like just right. It's just right in the right amount of quantities of each frequency. Um, to make it really good with those rich vocals and that deep bass. And then you have highs that just aren't overly exaggerated. Makes this very pleasing to me. The BA is fantastic. It's clear. It has very, very good details, and there's no fatigue there. There's no sibilance. It's not harsh. And then you get to the sound stage, and while the soundstage is not overly wide, it's more of a natural, it's forward, it's coming towards you instead of all around you. It does have some nice depth, but it's very natural sounding, and there's very good detail retrieval there. Very, very natural sounding. I think I just said that. But there's some great imaging. Seriously, great imaging here, and that makes that soundstage very good. It definitely comes from a natural position toward the listener. And the forward mids, they're not shouty, they're not in your face. They're perfectly placed. The tuner did a great job with these, in my opinion. Some people may not like these. They may be too much bass for you. The mids may not be right what you're looking for. This is more of a bass mid centric IAM. And I know we've done IAMs where they've been mid and they've been mid and high centered, which is the newer thing. But these have their own tuning. They say, hey, here's the bass. Don't forget about the bass. Other ones have bass, but it's like rapid and punchy, and it's not so much a weak bass, but it's not as pronounced as this bass. And this kind of gives you your bass fix and it gives you your mid fix. And people that are treble sensitive are going to like these because the treble doesn't overextend itself. And therefore, for me, I find these to be a very good pair, one of the most perfect pairs for its price range, under $200. I love these. These are definitely my favorite now. Um, so I can totally recommend them because A, they're comfortable, B, they look very good, decent amount of accessories, excellent build quality, and the sound is very pleasing if what I have described is what you want. Because, not everybody's going to like that. Some people it might be too boomy. Depending on your equipment and your track, the bass could end up being muddy. Um, from what I used, the stuff that I used to test this, various things, and the amount of hours that I put into testing, I found that it sounded great on everything. and I definitely can recommend these. Once again, I hope that this video was informative to you, and I hope that you're staying safe out there, and I will see you somewhere out on the internet. Thank you so much.